I want to bring in a member of that actual bipartisan panel on border security that's getting ready in about 24 minutes to meet. Republican Senator John Hoeven of North Dakota sits on the Senate Appropriations Committee. Senator, thank you so very much for your time today. How has President Trump's getting involved in all of this via Twitter and his words raised the stakes for your negotiations coming up?
Harris, good to be with you. Look, at the end of the day, we have to have something that we can pass through the House, through the Senate, and that the president will sign. So we all have to be involved, and we need to come up with a good solution that funds border security, which means people, technology, and a barrier.
It is hard to believe that that third component, barrier, might not come up in these talks. Does the wall or barrier come up, and how?
Well, of course, a barrier is very much part of it. One of the things that I'm recommending we do, and I'll talk about it at our meeting today, I have been talking about it, and that is we need to rely on the border security professionals, the career people, and they will tell you that you need all three components, people, technology, and a barrier.
So how does it work with the 17 of you? Do you get to call guests to come in, like what you just mentioned, and have them give testimony before you to say, yeah, this is exactly what we need? Are they supplying you with paperwork? I just wonder who's going to be listening to the experts and how that comes about.
Well, that's something that I'm certainly going to push. Look, really, we get in the room, we figure out, how we can get to a solution. We've been getting tons of input. I'm sure you've heard many of the different ideas that have already been put forward. But the key is that we come up with a solution that we can agree to.
Do you want the president to stay out of this, as Senator Chuck Schumer has said?
No, the president has to be part of it. As I said just a minute ago, we've got to get to a bill that he'll sign, right? So obviously, he has to be part of the discussion, the negotiation. He's already put forward some compromise proposals, I think very strong proposals, and hopefully that will help us get to a solution that people can agree to.
All right, here's Senator Mitch McConnell. Let's watch and listen together.
For whatever works that prevents the level of dysfunction we've seen on full display here the last month, and also doesn't bring about a view on the president's part that he needs to declare a national emergency. To predict going in exactly what that is impossible.
Senator Hoeven, Senator Mitch McConnell does not want an emergency valve in any of this, an executive order. If you can't get this done in 16 days, the president might do this. What do you say?
Well, obviously that's a possibility, which again is just why we're doing everything we can and want to do everything we can to get to a solution. The best solution is something that we come up with in Congress that he supports and that he'll sign, and that's the goal.
All right. Talk to me, if you can, about using that emergency, if you can, to talk about this in terms of how is it an emergency now and then 2 weeks from now? I mean, would the president have done better just to declare one?
Well, it is an emergency. You see what's going on the border. You report on it every day. Clearly, it's not just people coming here illegally. It's the drugs. It's criminality. It's all these things. So it has to be addressed. It is a national emergency. But the best way to address it is to do it, Congress and the administration working together on a good border security package. What he's saying is, we've got to get this done. If we can't get to an agreement, then he would, obviously that's one of his options, is to declare an emergency.
The other might be a partial government shutdown again, and from what I'm hearing on both parties on the Hill, nobody wants that. I want to slide in now, and I know you're in the Senate, but we're going to look at the House right now, because oppositionally on this has been the President and the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Here is Democrat Representative Debbie Dingell.
I'm tired of Republican win, Democratic win. This conference needs to be a win for the American people. I believe that's what's going to happen. I believe it's going to come to the floor. I believe we're going to pass it, and we're going to get on with doing the work that we were sent here to do, why people wanted to see us win the House.
So we can perhaps land on some optimism. Your last word.
That's encouraging, and again, that's why I say let's rely on the professionals and come up with a good security package that includes all three components I talked about: people, technology, and border, and a border barrier.
Let's hope that you can slide in those experts and that testimony, as you have talked about, because that's what the rest of us are studying, and it does call for technology, people, and barrier from what we're hearing, exactly what you said. Senator Hoeven of North Dakota, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Harris.